The first snow of December always made Leo's chest tight. It used to mean fairy lights, hot chocolate, and his mother humming old carols in the kitchen. Now snow meant something else. Another reminder that his family could celebrate Christmas without him, and pretend it was normal. He stood at the tall, arched window of his new manor, looking out at the long driveway. The house sat alone on a hill, stone walls wrapped in strings of white lights that glowed against the dark. The snow fell in slow, lazy flakes, covering the gravel, the iron gate, the empty front lawn. The lights outside looked festive. Inside, the house felt cold. Leo slipped his phone out of his pocket and unlocked it. Family group chat, 102 unread messages. He opened it. Photos from his parents, his younger brother, his younger sister. A huge Christmas tree glowing in the corner of a warm living room. His mother holding a tray of food. His father carving a turkey. Everyone tagged, everyone replying, laughing emojis, heart emojis. No one had sent him the address, just like last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. He let out a small, humorless laugh. They always had a reason. We thought you were busy. We assumed you were working. We didn't want to pressure you. They never asked if he was lonely. He locked the screen and slid the phone away. This year was different. This year, he didn't have to wait for their house, didn't have to check his phone every few minutes, hoping for an invite that never came. Because this year, Christmas was happening here, in his house. The manor smelled faintly of wood polish and smoke. Dark wooden staircase, long hallway, high ceiling with a chandelier that threw soft light onto the marble floor. It was grand, quiet, and empty. No tree, no stockings, no music. In the mirror by the staircase he saw his reflection. Clean navy suit, white shirt, his hair combed back, an expensive watch on his wrist. He looked like a man who had everything under control. Only his eyes betrayed him. There was something tired in them. Something that had watched too many Christmases from the outside. The doorbell rang, a sharp, echoing sound that bounced off the walls. He froze for half a second. He wasn't expecting them yet. He had told his parents 8 p.m. It was too early. He walked down the stairs, each step slow and measured. When he opened the heavy front door, a gust of cold air rushed in, full of snow and winter. And there she was, Maya. Her dark hair was tucked under a beanie, a few strands falling against her flushed cheeks. Snow clung to her wool coat, melting into tiny drops. Her boots were damp. Her eyes, those familiar warm brown eyes, lifted to his face. "Hi, Leo," she said softly. Time tilted. He hadn't seen her in 7 years. Not since that night, the night she walked away from him with silent tears on her face and his mother's words hanging in the air like poison. His throat tightened. "Maya?" She tried to smile. It trembled. "Yeah. It's really you." The entrance hall suddenly felt small, even with its high ceiling. Memories pressed in from all sides. Cheap apartments, shared blankets, whispered dreams about a life far away from his parents. "What are you doing here?" he asked. She glanced past him, into the huge empty space, as if trying to understand how this version of Leo existed. "My car got stuck on the road," she said. "I was trying to find a house nearby. The map led me here. I didn't know it was yours." He didn't believe her. Not fully, but he moved aside. "Come in," he said. "You're freezing." She stepped into the hall. He closed the door behind her. For a second, the sound of the outside world disappeared. It was just them, again. "Nice place," she whispered, looking around. "Thanks," he said. "It's quieter than I thought it would be." She noticed the lack of decorations. No tree, no ribbons, no bright colors. "No Christmas?" she asked gently. His lips curved in a small, empty smile. "Not yet." She hugged herself, shivering. "This was always your dream, remember? A big house where your parents didn't control everything, where you decided who came in and who didn't." "I remember," he said. He also remembered that she used to be in that dream. He motioned toward the sitting room. "Come on, there's a fire going." As she walked past him, the faint scent of her shampoo reached him, coconut and vanilla. For a moment, he wasn't standing in a manor. He was lying on a thin mattress in a tiny flat, her hair on his chest, both of them laughing over a broken heater. You live here alone? She asked. For now, he said, but not for long. Her eyes flicked to his face, curious. What do you mean? He looked toward the door, the snow, the long driveway. Oh, he murmured. My parents will be here soon. The sitting room was warm, lit by a soft glow from the fireplace. The flames moved slowly, licking the logs, sending sparks up the stone chimney. The room smelled of smoke and old wood, something deep and comforting. Maya stood close to the fire, holding her hands out to warm them. Her fingers were red from the cold. Leo watched her from the doorway for a moment, feeling like he was looking at a ghost that had learned how to breathe again. He walked over to the small bar by the wall and poured tea into 2 white cups. Steam curled up in thin threads. Here, he said, handing her one. Thanks, she replied, wrapping both hands around the cup. Sugar? He asked. She shook her head. No, I still don't take sugar. He raised his brows. Some things don't change. She gave a small, sad smile. Some do. They sat facing each other, with the low coffee table between them. For a few seconds, the only sounds were the crackling fire and the faint ticking of the clock on the wall. How have you been? She asked quietly. Busy, he said. Work. Builders. Lawyers. Trying to fill a huge house with something that feels like a life. And Christmas? She asked, staring into her. Tea. He laughed lightly, but there was no joy in it. Christmas is quiet. Always quiet. She winced, as if his words hurt. I heard a little, about your parents. How things got worse. You heard from who? He asked, his eyes narrowing slightly. She hesitated. I ran into your sister, once, in town. She said you distanced yourself, that you were doing your own thing. He smiled sharp. That's a nice way to say we cut him off and pretended it was his choice. Maya looked down. I didn't know what to believe. You could have called, he said. She flinched. I tried, she whispered. Many times. He stiffened. My number never changed. Her lashes lowered. Yeah, that's what I found out later. Silence settled again, heavier this time. Leo leaned back in his chair. Do you remember our last Christmas together? How could I forget? She said bitterly. He remembered it clearly. His parents' big house glowing with lights, guests walking in and out. His father's loud laugh echoing in the hall. The cold words behind closed doors. His mother's tight smile. Leo, she's not right for this family. His father's dismissive snort. You'll thank us one day. He remembered Maya crying on the back steps while music played inside. He remembered choosing her over them in his heart, but not being strong enough to walk away yet. You left without a word, Maya, he said quietly. One day you were there. The next, he snapped his fingers. Gone. She lifted her head slowly. I did leave, but not without a word. He frowned. What does that mean? Her fingers trembled where they gripped her cup. 7 years ago, the night before I left, your mother came to see me. He felt something cold slip down his spine. At your apartment? She nodded. She didn't sit down. She didn't even take off her coat. She just stood in the doorway and started talking like my whole life had already been written for me. What did she say? He asked, though a part of him already knew. She said, You were a burden, Maya whispered. That you always had been. That you were too emotional, too intense, too weak. That you would drag me down with you. She said your family was moving to a new house, that they wanted a fresh start, and that there was no place for me in it. Anger burned at the edge of his calm, and then she offered me money, Maya said, shame burning her cheeks. She said if I disappeared quietly, if I stopped calling you, stopped showing up at the house, she'd make sure I had enough to start somewhere else. Alone. Leo's fingers curled into fists. You didn't take it, he said. That's not who you are. At first I didn't, she said. I threw the envelope back at her. I told her I loved you. For a moment, warmth flickered in his chest. But, he said slowly, you still left. She looked at the fire instead of him. I had a reason. A chill moved through him. What reason? Her lips parted, but the words didn't come. Something held her back. Fear, guilt, both. Maya, he said softly, you're hiding something. Her shoulders tightened. He knew her voice, her body language, the way she shut down when she was scared. He saw it now. The same look she had the night she walked away from their old life. "I'm not dumb," he said. "I know there's more." Before she could answer, the doorbell rang again, loud and clear, echoing down the hallway. Maya jumped, almost spilling her tea. Leo looked at the clock on the wall. 8 p.m., right on schedule. He stood up, his face smoothing into a calm mask. "They're here," he said quietly. Maya stared at him. "Who?" He looked toward the hall. "My parents," he answered, "and my dear brother and sister." Her eyes widened. "You invited them here?" "Yes," he said, something cold and sharp in his voice. "I told them their disgrace of a son bought a manor and wanted to host Christmas dinner." Maya swallowed. "Leo, why?" He glanced at her, and for a brief second she saw the boy she once knew and the man he'd had to become. "Because this is the year," he said. "They finally stop forgetting me." The entrance hall filled quickly. His mother walked in first, wrapped in a fur-trimmed coat, lips painted red, eyes scanning every detail like she was judging the house for a magazine. His father followed, heavier now, but still carrying that air of importance. His brother and sister came behind them, carrying glossy gift bags and wearing careful smiles. "Leo, darling," his mother said, her voice bright, fake warm. "Just look at this place. You actually managed something big. I'm impressed." He forced a polite smile. "Welcome. Merry Christmas." She leaned in to kiss the air beside his cheek. Her perfume was strong, familiar, and suffocating. "No tree?" she asked, frowning as she looked past him. "You can't have Christmas without a tree. Honestly, Leo, we'll see," he said. His brother clapped him on the shoulder. "Man, this is huge. Didn't think you had this in you." His father laughed. "I told you, the boy might surprise us one day." Leo swallowed the anger and smiled. "You have no idea." Then his mother's eyes landed on Maya, who was standing just inside the entrance of the sitting room. She looked smaller now, under the weight of those judging eyes. The older woman's smile collapsed. "You," she said, the word flat and full of old disdain. Maya's voice was small but steady. "Hello, Mrs. Hart." His father's brows shot up. "What is she doing here?" Leo stepped between them a little. "Maya is my guest, like all of you." His mother turned to him sharply. "Leo, this is our family Christmas. We didn't agree to—" "Sit," he said, his voice suddenly firm, hard as stone. "We'll talk first. Then we eat." There was something in his tone that none of them were used to. Authority, finality. They obeyed. They moved into the sitting room, taking seats near the fire. Leo chose to stand between the fireplace and the door, as if he was guarding something. His father relaxed into an armchair. "So, he," said, smoothing his tie. "You sounded dramatic in your message." "We need to talk." "That's usually a woman's phrase, son." His mother gave a tight laugh. Leo looked at each of them in turn. "This won't take long. I just want to talk about the past, about Christmas, about forgetting." His sister shifted, uneasy. "Leo, if this is about the invites, you know how it is. Mom organizes everything. She organizes who exists and who doesn't," Leo said calmly. "I know." His mother rolled her eyes. "Oh, don't start with this again. You moved away. You got busy. We respected your space. You blocked my calls," he said. "You moved houses and never sent me the new address. You changed your numbers. That's not space, that's erasing." She opened her mouth, but he lifted a hand. "7 years ago," he continued, "you also paid a visit to someone else, to Maya." His mother's face froze. Maya swallowed hard, fingers twisting in her lap. "You went to her tiny apartment," Leo said. "You offered her money to leave me, to disappear from my life, to make it easier for you to move on without a burden." His father frowned. "What is he talking about?" His mother forced a laugh. "He's clearly been listening to her little stories. Leo, I only ever wanted what was best for you. You were always so emotional." "What else did she say, Maya?" Leo asked, his eyes never leaving his mother's face. Maya's voice shook, but she spoke. "She said if I really loved him, I'd leave. That he would never be enough for someone like me. That he would never have money, a house, a future. She said I was better off taking the money and running before he dragged me down." His sister stared at their mother. Mom. His father shifted uneasy. You went too far if that's true. I did what a mother has to do, she snapped. I protected our family. Leo's jaw clenched. He walked to the mantel and picked up the folder he'd placed there earlier. He opened it on the coffee table. This is what you call protection? He asked. Inside were printed phone records, screenshots of blocked calls, scans of an old letter in his mother's handwriting, and photos. One of Maya, clearly pregnant, standing alone. Another of a little girl with Leo's eyes and Maya's hair. His brother leaned forward. Who is that? Leo didn't look away from his mother. Tell them, Maya, he said softly. Maya took a shaky breath. Her name is Lily, she's 6. She's Leo's daughter. The room stopped breathing. His father swore under his breath. His sister whispered, Oh my God. His brother's eyes widened. Leo felt the world tilt under his feet, even though he already knew. Hearing it in her voice still broke something open inside him. A daughter, he murmured. All this time. His mother's lips thinned. You don't even know if... Enough, Leo snapped. Everyone flinched. They weren't used to hearing him raise his voice. He turned fully to his mother. You blocked every number she called from, he said. You told her I didn't want the baby, that I called her a mistake, that I moved abroad. Maya's voice cracked. I went to your old house with a letter, Leo. She met me at the gate, she ripped it in front of me, said you'd never see it. His vision blurred for a moment. He blinked hard. You didn't just forget me, he said. You stole my chance to be a father. No one spoke. He straightened, his voice steady again. I hired a lawyer, he said, then a private investigator. I wanted the truth, I got it. Every blocked call, every lie. Every time you said to someone, we don't see Leo much, he's too busy for family. His father breathed heavily, anger and fear wrestling in his eyes. What exactly are you planning to do with this, Leo? Leo closed the folder gently. This manor, he said, is mine. This life is mine. And starting tonight, I am done begging for a place in yours. He looked at Maya, at the pain and hope in her face. I can't get the years back, he said quietly. I can't undo what they did. But I can. Choose differently now. I choose you, and Lily, if you'll let me. Maya's eyes filled with fresh tears. I waited for you, she whispered. I thought you chose them. He shook his head. I never chose them. They chose for me. That ends now. His mother stood up, shaking. You would throw away your own family for this, for some revenge? For the truth, he said simply. And I'm not throwing you away. I'm just returning the favor. He walked to the door and opened it wide. Cold air rushed in, snow drifting over the threshold. The locksmith will be here soon, he said. He's changing all the locks. This is my home. You are no longer welcome here. Not for Christmas. Not for anything. His father's face twisted. We are your parents. He nodded. You were. Until you decided I didn't exist. His sister cried softly. His brother looked torn, guilt all over his face. I don't hate you, Leo said. But I won't chase you anymore. If one day you remember me for real, maybe we can talk. Until then, this is goodbye. One by one they walked out, his father in angry silence, his sister with tears, his brother pausing for a moment. I'm sorry, Leo, his brother whispered. Then be different from them, Leo replied. That's all I ask. Finally, his mother stood in the doorway, snow falling behind her. You'll regret this, she hissed. He looked at her with a calm he'd never had before. No, he said softly. I regretted waiting for you every Christmas. I'm done with that. She left. He closed the door. The click sounded final. The house went quiet, but it wasn't the same heavy silence as before. It felt lighter, raw and open but honest. Maya stepped closer. What now? She asked. He looked at her, really looked at her, and thought of the little girl he hadn't met yet, who shared his eyes. Now, he said, voice gentle, if you'll allow it. I meet my daughter. I put up a tree. We fill this empty house with lights and noise and messy, real love. Not the fake kind I grew up. Maya searched his face, then nodded slowly. Lily loves Christmas, she whispered. She always asks why we don't have family coming over. Maybe this year, I can tell her we do. He smiled, a real one this time, small and full of pain and hope mixed together. I'd like that, he said. Outside, snow kept falling over the long driveway, covering the tracks his parents had left. Inside, for the first time, Leo felt like Christmas was truly beginning. He glanced once more at the closed door and thought, they taught me how it feels to be forgotten. Tonight, I taught them what it feels like to be left outside.